Hello, welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV news. Today on the 25th of July 2025, we got another special site update, this time updating some information in regards to the challenges, so nothing to do with obviously the MSQ that we looked at before. They have updated this section, starting with the Echoes of Vana'diel, Sandoria the Second Walk. We've got some new images here. It says Yactel now plays host to a rift in reality, connecting our work to that, a world to that of Vana'diel and the city of Juno. And it is there, in this land of bygone heroes and forgotten adventures, that a new threat rises. So we've got some nice new imagery to go with that. Obviously, we've got characters that we've seen before. And then we've got this character. Yes, interesting. Very interesting. So obviously things are happening in Juno, and our theory of the rift opening within Juno itself to other parts of Vana'diel seems to be true. And we've got Sandoria here. This is the intro area to Sandoria. We saw Yoshi P on the live letter walk through here with the beautiful Sandoria music in the background. And it appears that we go left, fight some monsters, and then there's like an outskirts area like leading to a cave where we find the first boss. So pretty cool. We've got this beautiful background here. I love the skybox on this. It's absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful imagery. And then we have this, which, yeah, you know, who doesn't love Ultima and Omega? You know what I mean? Like, so we've got some cool looking in-game during the actual fight sort of thing. I love how they've timed this perfectly with whatever shutter speed in G-pose during combat. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Taking part on one of these airships as other airships are flying by on fire. Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Dunscaith, like one of the bosses basically blows or tries to blow you off if you've got the incorrect mechanics, things like that. So it's basically Dunscaith boss, but probably a little bit more complicated with different sort of buffs and debuffs. Looking pretty cool, honestly. This then is a first look at the actual Alliance Raid gear. At first I thought this was just going to be like basic glamour that we would get, but as you can see in this nice high-res rendered image we have for each particular job role. I really like some of these sets. Obviously Precious set looking great here. If that's not the caster outfit, I'll be very surprised. And yeah, it looks really good, doesn't it? Really good. Much better than the concept imagery. I can't wait to see what it looks like in a game with the dual dies. So we'll have to do our best to collect as much, if not all of the gear to actually preview when that comes out. But that looks absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, there's also a few things to take from this as well, like this hairstyle. This hairstyle, as far as we can tell, is brand new. I'm not sure if... I'm guessing the ribbons come as a part of it. Part of me hopes that that's a helm, so that the ribbons are just a helm piece and we can turn those off, because the original hairstyle that this is based on, as far as I can tell, is a contest design winner on screen here. And it would be nice to not have the ribbons in the hair. The reason I think that they are something that is part of a helm is because of this here, which presumably is the healer set, I'm guessing, with the ribbon there. So it's very similar. Hopefully that's just a helm, but that hair is awesome and I can't wait to collect that. Who knows where that will be, but we definitely don't have that hairstyle in the game already. And yeah, I think that's all to take from that. Really nice looking outfits. Can't wait to see how they die. And that's pretty much it for the Alliance Raid. Then we have a Meso Terminal. We've looked at that before. But here's a new section on the Reef of Snakes Unreal. It says the foe commander yearns for a tale of undying vengeance. And as you revisit your numerous memories of such, you recall the Auspice Sayu and his single-minded desire to destroy his loathed foe. Your mind's eye brings that furious encounter to vivid life, and you find yourself facing the mighty being once more in a bid to quell his Aram Itama ere it consumes him. Sayu was a fun fight back in the day with all the, you know, swimming to get back on the platform, that kind of thing. Unreal's going to be fun. Who knows what the foe commander has? Probably a new mount, always good fun to collect new bits, and Unreal is always something that is nice to dip your toe into when you like one of the bosses. It's a good way of revisiting things, isn't it? Then we got a weapon enhancement quest then in 7.31, so what's that, a couple of weeks after 7.3 comes out, which is obviously to do with the next weapon upgrade for your combat relics in the Occult Crescent, or at least in the hub just before it. It says, as the tedium of life upon the Occult Crescent sets in, Geralt's focus once again shifts from smithing to his favourite tipple. Can he overcome his rum-tinged malaise and elevate the phantom weapons to phantasmal new heights? So who knows what this is going to be. We already had, an Atmos stage. I really hoped that we were going to get a light stage or something, but Yoshi P's wording during the live letter translation made me think that they're just going to do some kind of tome thing again. I really don't like tomes over and over, man. I think it's quite boring, so hopefully it's something different, but obviously something crazy is going on here. It almost looks like the special effect that Brute Bomber has when he drinks the energy drink. I don't know if you remember that from the raid tier, if you've done that, but it looks like he's drank an energy drink to make him, I don't know, perform miracles on weapons. So we'll have to wait and see. Then we've got Pilgrim's Traverse with lots of images. This is for 7.35, so what, a month maybe after the actual launch of 7.3, something like that. It says, over hill, over dale, and to the Crystarium wanders a messenger from the Fairy King. Titania requires mortal assistance in Ilmeg, and so the Warrior of Darkness sets forth to investigate architectural remains of a Church of the First Light, which is all kinds of dark and twisted. If you've read any of the Fate, there's like text on the side of Fates in Ilmeg. Some of the coolest stuff like, Porus Poldia, all that stuff is very grim, very dark, and it links back to the church. So yeah, it'll be exciting to see. Obviously you got one of these Froggo fellas, these lovely petals in the background. There's going to be all kinds of things happening in here. We got the fairies involved as usual, and the entrances in Ilmeg. It's nice to see, Feowall back in the storyline, and I'm looking forward to seeing what secrets and depraved realizations we can come to from actual completion of this deep dungeon. It looks absolutely great from the live letter footage. I can't wait. I love deep dungeons. They're some of my favorite pieces of content added to the game. There's a nice shot then of just one of the rooms. Basically you get rooms like this connected indoors, outdoors, indoors, outdoors, and it appears to go like across Ilmeg rather than like down staircases and things, rather than going up a tower or down a tower deep underground. It seems to be a bit of that, but also mostly laterally, like you're moving across Ilmeg, going through various ruins, which is quite exciting. And I do love this architectural style. I think it's beautiful. And of course, the way they can get away with this in the storyline of not seeing these before is because obviously the fairies could have bathed it in mirages or whatever, and you could have just simply not seen it. But there's a lot of Ilmeg we haven't seen, and it's going to be fun to see that. Look at that interior shot there. Wow, with the stained glass. Almost looks like Titania's arena where you fight the trial boss. Very cool. The outdoor section with butterflies and pies and leaf men. There's a leaf men boss that was shown on the live letter. That's a big rainbow fella. Absolutely awesome. Here's a shot of him. I can't wait to and you can get him as a mount as well. So very excited for this one. There's another interior shot. So we got like webbing and things. So it does look like there's a deep sort of seeded problem with this. Obviously we've got Sin Eaters involved. One of the bosses that was shown during the live letter was a Sin Eater. These are called votives, by the way, if you're wondering what the chandelier candelabra thing is on the floor. Apparently if you use these, or choose to use these, if you click on them, they do a cast bar, and then it's like, who knows what's going to happen on the next floor, and then you go to the next floor and something might happen. They mentioned how you could transform your entire party into monsters, basically, to clear the floor, or it might do something negative at the same time. So there's lots of potentiality with this new mechanic, on top of everything else that is pretty much the same from old Deep Dungeons, as well as the bosses every 10 floors. There's a lot more checkpoints they mentioned for this. It's going to be interesting. to really experience. And look at the vibrant difference here. So this is clearly underneath the lake inside Ilmeg. Like, so we're going everywhere across the land, dude. Like, including underneath the ocean. Well, the lake, I guess, which is probably hidden more ruins like this. This kind of looks like the water temple from, I don't know, like a water palace from Secret of Mana or something, with these, you know, water fountains that aren't bubbling, and we've got some Sin Eater creatures down here. So it looks like the deeper we go, the more Sin Eatery it gets. That's a guess. But yeah, super excited for the deep dungeon. We do have to wait till 7.35, but to be honest, with all of the things that are in 7.3, I'm kind of glad that it's spaced out a little bit, because this will probably take the full focus of, you know, maybe 50, 60 hours of my time, and I would rather not miss out on the other content as a result of that. So there's plenty of stuff coming in the 7.3 series. Speaking of which, we've got a brand new planet to explore, Faena, or Faena, I don't know how you want to pronounce that still, cosmic exploration, as well as tool enhancement quests. So we've got a brand new place to explore, pretty much the same as before. We've got, you know, your cosmic tools that will be enhanced by doing X amounts of missions, glorified leave quests, as the community keeps reminding me in the comment section. Oh, it's just glorified leave quests. It is what it is. It'll be interesting to see what they do to adapt the feedback that they've been given. I really hope that Faena has more hands-on team building stuff. I wasn't a massive fan of the way that the world fate system worked, you know, the ranking up of the actual planet, or the moon rather. The moon-based ranking up could fail, and it was really unfortunate for lower population servers. So hopefully they've addressed some of the scaling with that. But yeah, we've got this kind of intro sequence with arrows. It looks almost like we're selecting our destination. We've got Naming Way there and another Laporet. They're all looking very excited. This is a new outfit then for the Warrior of Light. As you can see, we're wearing something very different. This is not the Cosmos suit. This is something else. So presumably that'll be another piece of glamour as well. Very, very cool stuff. I also hope that these interior spaces are places that we actually get to visit, because G-Pose would be awesome to have, you know, inside a spaceship with pilots and stuff. Kind of looks like an Enterprise shot, and I would honestly kill for an opportunity to film there. This then looks like the base has been upgraded. It doesn't look like this is the initial base, but look at the floor. This interior of this crazy alien cave with the stalactites and stalagmites, and the floor, like this opal-esque rock, and these various different bits. Who knows how long it'll take to ship all of this stuff here, but that's what the ranking up is for. And there's caves to explore, as well as this big open, wide, delicious world. They did confirm that the hoverboard that was in the previous, you know, moon exploration will be a regular mount, as well as like a mecha giraffe they showed, which looks amazing. You can see a picture of that here that I took. Yeah, there's a lot to get excited for, and that's only in 7.31, so it's not too long to wait for that. A couple of weeks, like I say, after the launch of 7.3 itself. So lots of cool stuff. It says the Cosmic Exploration Initiative is ready to make its first great hop into the cosmos, setting its sights on the star of Faena, or Faena. Join the crew to help transform the crystalline landscape into a bustling new base of operations. Cannot wait personally, although I do hope they work on some of the feedback that was given, and we'll see how this content develops. Bear in mind, feedback is very much welcomed. Square Enix are adamant about this, and it takes people like me to reiterate that. Please give feedback on the forums and Reddit and places. They do read it, and if you find something a bit dull or uninteresting for whatever reason, and you have suggestions, they do take this stuff on board. And quite honestly, we've got 2 more planets after this. So we've got the moon, we've got Faena, and we've got 2 other places that will be reconstructing, if you want to call that, or creating bases on 2 other planets or planet-sized objects, planetoids, moons, stars, or whatever you want to call them. So there's plenty of room for feedback to be addressed and applied, and that's my hope anyway. But yeah, really excited to see what they have in store, and that's pretty much it for the updates. There's plenty of pictures there, like we've said, and of course, obviously there's the rest of the information. For 7.3, they've updated a few things like, you know, the Hildebrand 7.35, Allied Society Quest 735, the Deep Dungeon 735, 7.31 for the Phantom Weapons, Cosmic Tools 7.31. But in 7.3, you get your chat bubbles, new PvP gear, series, and map, new mounts, minions, emotes. Duty support is for, obviously, Cutter's Cry, Dome and Mahjong voices for Wook Lamat, Kona, and Bakul Jar Jar, which don't interest me, but, you know, maybe they interest you. And Crystalline Conflict gets new PvP job changes, as well as that new map. New treasure map dungeon looks amazing, by the way. It's a shame they haven't got a segment on that. But Dungeon 1 Iron looks great. It's kind of like a casino with spinning jackpot reels, and you depending on how lucky you are is what monster and chest loot rewards spawn. There's obviously a new trial in 7.3 associated with the just after the dungeon. It's wrapping up the 7.0 storyline. So anything past this patch, like 7.4 onwards, is going to be a brand new storyline following into the next expansion 8.0. So it's at this point I would recommend coming back to the game, because it's basically finishing off Dawntrail. So if you didn't enjoy Dawntrail's storyline, this is the end of it. Pretty much this is like the end of Dawntrail's actual storyline, and anything they do after this patch is going to be something leading into the next expansion. And I really hope we get news on, you know, the process for that sometime later this year. It'd be nice to get some privy information. But for now, very much looking forward to Sandoria when that comes out on 7.3. And yeah, collecting some of the amazing glamour. Anyway, let me know what you're most excited for. More videos like this on the way. As soon as we get little special site updates or things like that, we'll do another video. I am working on some other projects from the actual game in the background. Those things take a long time to do and edit. So, you know, bear in mind, I am still doing lots of different things that you used to enjoy. My recovery process is going well. It's been a month now, and I'm feeling a lot better. It's just the energy problem because of how my body's healing. The amount of energy I have is limited per day, and I soon crash out, dude. I just collapse into sleep. So I'm working my hardest to get things back on this channel where they used to be, where we can pump out lots of information and hopefully some cool guides and ideas for videos. Whilst I've been in bed, I've just basically made a notepad document of all the things I want to do when I'm feeling up to it. So I've got tons of ideas. So it's not like there's nothing to make videos on. So stay tuned. But yeah, let me know what you're excited for 7.3 series. Me, most of it, quite honestly. But the Deep Dungeon is certainly, you know, that's like the creme de la creme, but we have to wait a bit for that. Anyway, much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Friday, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.